Hi Kate.
Hi Meg, lovely to see you.
And you too, and welcome back to Megsmenopause IGTV. It's so good to have you. Last year it was amazing because ACAS started their training or their package for companies throughout the UK. And
That's right.
Anyone can get this package if they're a company. They can just get in touch with you.
Get in touch, get onto the website, book themselves onto the training.
On the training,
yeah. And on the website find the guidance as well.
Perfect.
Or call the helpline. I mean, lots of ways.
And has it been going well?
Really well, really well. Yes, thanks. There's lots of yes, thanks, Meg. Lots of companies coming to the training and really engaging in it.
Yeah.
And interested in what we're putting online. Lots of interest, lots of press interest as well, actually, which is really encouraging.
Yeah.
You know, so we've had articles in the Guardian and other press as well. Just people seem to be seeing and understanding this is an issue, and it's an issue in the workplace.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, I think it's amazing that ACAS, because there's lots of different, I mean, you know, I go and talk in the workplace as well. I do talking. I don't do as much of a training as you do, but I like to go in there and, you know, just basically, you know, explain and speak with the HR. Usually there's someone HR with me, and usually they, they're not that well equipped. I don't know, should I say? They're just not being about how to act around menopause women. Is there any advice that you could just give just off the cuff about, you know, not a full-on training that you do, but what is good for HR? If anybody out there from HR,
even if they didn't want the full-on training, just go and look at the advice and guidance on the website. One of the things that's come out interestingly in the training courses that our trainers have been feeding back to me is that it even really switched on people who are keen to be there, don't even understand the real basics of actually what the menopause is. Yeah. Let alone what you then do about it.
Yes, I know, isn't it?
It's like it's astonishing. And I guess for you and I, we're in it, you know. We've lived and breathed it. Yeah. You know, it's there for us. Yeah. But if you're a younger woman, and the majority of HR practitioners are women, and the majority of them are probably younger than you and I. In reality.
Yes, of course.
And that's not where their heads are, but you've got to know about it. You've got to know the facts. So I think that's the starting point. Actually, what is it? What are we talking about?
What is the menopause? Yeah, it's a really good point, actually. And you know, when you go off and you do your training courses, do you find there's a lot of men in HR? That's what I wanted to ask you. I just wondered. Heads of HR, is it a very male dominant world still? And do you know, are they just like, it's the menopause? Is she, you know, we were sort of touching on this earlier, is it like, oh, yeah, once again? Because I know a lot of the time I used to lie. I used to say when I was at school, I've got period pains. I never suffered from period pains in my life, but some days it'd be cold and raining. I did not want to play hockey.
Shocking news.
Yeah, you know, I was that way and that mud, and at school they didn't care if it was snowing. If you were doing hockey,
get out there.
Yeah. So do you think, you know, some staff, do you find that you're hearing back that they are, and what would you suggest if they were finding this with their staff?
Well, there's a couple of things there. I mean, you asked about the men.
Yes, sorry, first of all,
that's all right. No, so it's kind of not. It's not surprising, but it's perhaps a bit disappointing that of all of the training courses we've done so far, there've been almost every single delegate has been a woman. There's definitely been a man on one course.
Yes, of course.
Colin told me about that. And I thought that was a really positive situation, because he was there because he had supported his own wife through a difficult menopause, and he wanted to make sure that the right workplace support was in place for his female colleagues. So that's I thought was really, really interesting. And then as to whether people make excuses, that's a really good question actually. So that came up at a conference I was speaking at recently, and we had 100 HR professionals there. And somebody asked that, you know, how do you deal with, if you raise this question about menopause in the workplace, isn't that giving an excuse a bit like the young Meg Matthews in
In our
our old
hockey.
snowy hockey days with her hockey socks
Yeah.
on, to just, that's another reason to make an excuse to have a day off work.
Yeah.
And I think my answer to that would be, as a manager and as an HR department, you know your staff and you know the ones who, and there are, you know, not most, absolutely majority of people aren't like this, but you know, there's going to be the odd person who might make a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah.
Perhaps takes longer off sick than the average person, and it could be a blend of, it could be very real to them, but it's like, that feels like they're taking a few liberties.
Yeah.
But I think that's the majority, and because that, sorry, I beg your pardon, I think that's the minority,
Yeah.
and because of that, I think it's much more important that we support the majority, raise the conversation, and deal with the
Absolutely. Just later, I think, we have to get it out there because, as we know, there's 13 million women going through the menopause in the UK. I think we have around about 4.6 million actually in their 50s in their menopause age range still at work. And also I did read that 10% have even thought about leaving work because their symptoms were so bad.
Yeah, and I think what that speaks to is that the vast majority of women going through it, of you and I, is that nothing would make us have a day off and admit it was to do with menopause. We battle on, or 10% would think it's so bad, rather than keep having days off, I have to throw the towel in.
Yeah.
You know, so,
I mean, the stories that I've sometimes heard, which have, you know, I've done like some BBC radio phoners with, you know, different parts of the UK, and you know, I've heard such desperation in women's voices because they're just not heard at work, and I'm just thinking, God, this is going to happen to every single woman, and I know it's easier said than done because I talk about it every day, you talk about it every day. So it's just like, for me, it's just like talking about what I'm going to do for my shopping. But when it was happening to me, I was in a really dark place, as we know, like really dark place. I didn't leave my house, so I would not have been able to go to work because of my anxiety and fear and overwhelm. So, you know, I probably couldn't leave the house. I was grateful enough and I'm grateful enough that I, you know, didn't have to work. I could work from home. But for those women, I know that it is, you know, it's just so awful. And, you know, I've heard about women, you know, losing, you know, not going into work. They've used up all their holidays. Yeah. They've come to a stage where they just don't know how to speak to their line manager. They are so embarrassed about it because when mine was so mental health like, it wasn't just like a hot flush. It was actually, my brain was like mush. If I would have said to you, sitting here, would have even started talking to you, I would have burst into tears. I thought I was the only person on my own. So, you know, with ACAS coming forward, and hopefully lots of women will be able to listen to this, and would they be able to go into work and put ACAS forward, or?
Well, what I would suggest, the most important thing for any woman in that situation is that they have a good relationship with their line manager, so they want to be able to go to them. And so, and say, have the conversation about their difficulties and refer the manager to the website for the guidance. Right. And I think that's a really key thing.
And anyone could just go on that.
Anyone could go on that. So it's www.acas.org.uk/menopause. Really straightforward. The guidance is there, and I think that would help a woman. You know, even if their relationship with their line manager is a little bit uncomfortable, or with HR, to at least be able to say, look, I don't like to talk about it, but if you just go on this link, this is what I'm going through, but just please read this because that would help me.
And does the link, does it actually cover the symptoms, or does it cover, like, you know, what you're going through? It does. So employers can understand that full range of symptoms. It doesn't go into the great medical detail that some other websites do, you know. That's mine.
Exactly.
I do the nitty-gritty bits.
That's right, you do the nitty-gritty bits, but people obviously can go through to that. But you know, it does certainly cover the headlines, and then you know, and it's saying to employers, this is an issue. It's an issue for women, and we really recommend, you know, raise awareness of it, train your managers to be aware. Support people, think about your policies and procedures, you know, building it into your policies and procedures so that people know and understand it. But I just think having the conversation in the workplace, you know, even as I left the office and I've come here today to see you, And I was really clear to people, I'm going off to see Meg because we're doing a vlog about the menopause.
Yeah, brilliant.
As opposed to, I'm just sneaking out.
Yes, so you're very vocal and you talk about it. And so with the training, so they say an employer went to her line manager, then the line manager started reading about it. Would he then get in touch with HR and say, look, this is great. They come. Do you go to the workplace?
We can do either.
Okay,
so you can either send, if you're in a smallish company,
Yes.
for example, you could send just one or two key people onto a training course. And
Brilliant.
Run all over. And or you could, if you're a larger company and you want to train, 8 to 10, 12 people, you contact ACAS. The links are on the
and
website.
You bring in.
And we go in.
So there's big companies like, I did a big talk at GSK Pharmaceuticals. I mean, that is ginormous.
That's a big company.
That's a big company. And what I liked about it is we did the talk, they had someone from HR there on the stage, and then I talked, and there was a few other amazing people there. And then they actually screened it onto people's computers.
Yeah.
So they recorded it, and then everybody within the company worldwide could actually then go back and watch that.
Fantastic.
So then it meant however many people it wasn't made to watch it, but you could actually at any time just click on it. So I think we are just what me and you are struggling to do is we need to get this message out there, because we're in 2020. Women should not have to suffer. We're looking really, it takes us back to like we're in the 1940s or something, when you think how women in the workplace suffering. I mean,
I can't imagine how that was. Can you imagine
do you know
that?
I know, I don't know either, but the tights rule, and women, they don't even take in these tiny little things of like, having a hot flush, like just having a fan at work, but someone will probably think, well, I don't want to ask for a fan because everybody's going to know. Well, women, I really want to say to them that it's very important that if you can get a few of your employees with you, just sort of start chatting. It is definitely about starting a conversation.
Yes. I couldn't agree more. And one of the employers who's been on our training said what they've done is they've set up like a chat, an informal network in the
Brilliant.
company.
That's what I would
Getting the
say.
women chatting.
Yeah.
Isn't that a great idea?
Yeah, because
so
numbers, you always feel like you've got support there. Because if you are on your own, there is guaranteed ladies out there. You're not going to be, if you're from the age from, like, I would say you can be peri from 45 onwards 100%. So if you're having those odd days where it's just overwhelming or whatever, you always put it down to work, which is what I did, or just lifestyle.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm exhausted. Oh my God, this.
Yes.
But I didn't go, wow, tick the box. But there will be numerous women around your age, and if you can just start the conversation, it's more powerful, isn't it?
And it's a lovely conversation to have when you start talking to other women.
Isn't it?
It's not just me.
Yeah.
Isn't
Even
that nice?
one person, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you can feel that maybe you meet in the canteen at lunchtime, or you have your sandwiches together, and that will that support factor. The minute I was able to chat about it, I felt so much better. And then you can move on to maybe even all of you, even if you're in different departments, maybe going to HR and just saying, look, I know that ACAS, it's free, this, isn't it? Is it free?
The guidance is free, the training is charged for,
right,
but the guidance is all free, lots of advice.
Right, so you can go and get the guidance, and even if an employer can go and get the guidance, could they?
Yeah, absolutely.
And download it, and then maybe even take it to a line manager if you think he's really busy. Or if not, if you get a group of you, then you could just go to HR and say, let's do training for the line managers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how long is the training? Does it last for?
It's a day of training.
Brilliant. So it's one day, and then you just cover menopause, everything. What are a few of the things? Just give us a few things.
So what it is,
policies,
and what might be helpful.
Yeah.
A lot of sharing of experience. There's a lot of working out for the people in the room what would work in their workforce. And from our point of view also, we would cover the sort of employment law side of things.
Right.
So we're talking about menopause, ACAS is about making workplaces better, and that takes in all sorts of things.
Right, yeah.
So if employers really don't get to grips with this and deal with it in the right way,
Yeah.
that could cause legal difficulties for them down the line as well.
Right.
So we make sure they know about that sort of stuff in the
Good.
background.
So there is a few little things
So a few
there, isn't
things
there?
in
You
there
are,
that's-
we have
yeah.
got, some employers have got a lot on
Yeah.
their side, but they just don't know about it. Is that the
Absolutely.
case?